Boy, do we have a lot to do today. We'll start off the morning by saying that the train is here. So, you might be asking yourself, what do we have to do today? Well, you can already see that I have my tools out, so we're about to take something apart. Actually, we're about to take a couple different things apart today. So, as you noticed, the keys to my mother's car are sitting here, which means the Malibu Classic is yet in my possession. I've been driving it over the last couple days because my Escape is still not drivable. And you might be asking yourself, well, didn't we just fix the Escape? Well, you're right. However, and this will be our big plan for today. Well, you can't really see it. Anyway, yeah, it's right there. We're still leaking transmission fluid. And the kicker is, everything was put together. I drove it home that night. When we filled it all up and stuff, nothing had been leaking. Everything was still in good working shape. But the issue is, oh, we can't see it from here. Yeah, right along the side, you can see where it's coming from. It's like running down the case and dripping off of that thing. The outer seal is not sitting right, so all of the fluid is leaking back out as the car's being driven or these wheels are turned. And so we have to tear this all out again today. And we're going to take out the outer seal, see exactly why it wasn't sitting right, and then we have to buy a new seal, because if we take the one out, the new one we just put in, we're probably going to end up destroying it. So I have to go to the dealership and buy the seal. Luckily it's a cheap part by itself there. So, but as far as this car, I'm going to try a little something today. Today, I'm going to tear the stereo out and try to clean it. Because it's progressively getting worse, and I don't remember, or I don't know if you guys might remember, but the last time I had the car, I think it was actually one of the videos, the CD just kind of, it keeps getting spit out. So the drive is not reading CDs as well anymore. You kind of have to fight with it for a while to try to get it to pick the CD up. Shut this door real quick. So if we hit CD, see if it'll pick it up. Ah, alright. Interesting. So you can kind of see how delayed it is in picking up the album itself. Sometimes when you put a new CD in, it'll spit it out and it'll give you like an error message. But I'm wondering if I wonder if we'll be able to actually open the drive up on this CD player like we were with the one that I had in the Grand Prix. From my knowledge, I think I tried this once before, and it didn't work. So I'm going to look into it a little more. See? It might actually spit it out this time. Oh wow. Okay, so getting the stereo out of your Malibu from like 97 up to 2003, and then the Classic from 2004 and 2005. It's really easy. There's usually no complications with this at all. So first thing we need to do is kind of take a flathead screwdriver or such and carefully just try to pry this ring off for the ignition, like so. And then you can try to grab it. Some people like to use like those little flat tools and such, but so you could just kind of grab it within and it kind of comes off pretty easily. So just carefully try to just pry it around like so. And then that whole casing is loose. Now the cigarette lighter is here, and there's usually a like a little tang I think you could push to unplug that. Okay, so then that comes out like so. You just kind of it's on the bottom, so squeeze in the bottom and then just kind of wiggle it out. So this whole thing is free, but as you can see, the shifter's in the way. So what we gotta do is put the keys back in, turn it over to accessory. You don't actually have to turn the battery over or anything. Put your foot on the brake, and then just put the gear selector into another gear, and that's it. So then there are 3 screws for this stereo right there. I always forget what size it is offhand. I'm probably gonna have to go get some more sockets. Yeah, so they're smaller than that. So let me go get the rest of my small sockets out of the Escape. Okay, so I'm back. Number 7, lucky 7. So number 7 is going to take these out. So for that we have our small ratchet, our little quarter drive ratchet, and then we just start taking them apart. And the nice thing about this stereo, unlike like the Grand Prix for example, the stereo will stay in place. It doesn't want to start to like fall out or anything once all these screws are actually can't grab it. Once all these screws are completely like loosened and such, so you never have to really worry about the stereo just falling out. Okay. And then from there, just comes right out. So then, you want to unhook your antenna. Sometimes this, yeah, those can be in there quite good. And then the one wiring harness, just by pushing in on those tabs and wiggling it out of place. And that's how you remove your stereo from your Chevy Malibu 97 to 2005. So from here, I have a flat-headed screwdriver, and I'm just going to pry the top of the stereo off. You can see the small notches around the top there and around the back. So we can carefully kind of pry those up, and it will start to lift up the top of the stereo as we go around. Now this side has this plate on it. I remember when I did the Grand Prix, I think I worked around it, so we should kind of be able to just carefully start lifting it up once we have the other sides somewhat pried off. Yeah, just like that. And here's the part that I was kind of intrigued by. You can kind of see the dirt in there, so I bet this thing's filthy on the inside. But the stereo in the Grand Prix had these little screws that went around here, and you can actually tear this whole top off and have access to the drive. I don't really see that with this one. I do see the screws to kind of hold the drive in, so I don't know if I have to actually take the drive out completely. What's this one do? That's, yeah. So I'm not exactly sure. So this is the part where I'm going to go in the house and I'm going to look into this a little further. So out of curiosity, I found this this aftermarket stereo here that I had that was once my brother Kevin's when he had the Alero. And it kept shorting out in the Alero, so I took it out and put the cassette deck back in, but I honestly think my wiring may be coming apart. But I was kind of curious to see if it would work in this vehicle, since you know, I still had it and such. I still had the connections, and when I bought the one for the Alero, I remember I had to use this little connector here, but the other side of it fits into the wiring harness of the Malibu. So I'm going to hook the antenna back up. I want to see if maybe this thing will work. I might have to redo the wires because they've been sitting like this for a long time, and oh yeah, the tape, it's not even sticking anymore, so I'll have to maybe work with the wires. But if I can get this to work in here, then maybe I can forget about working with that one for a while, because I'm not having much luck trying to get that thing open right now. Okay, so I kind of hooked everything up real quick. See if this will work or not. No chime. So it's probably not working. Yeah, there's no chime. Oh, see, the motor's. Ooh. Still no chime. Source, anything? Anything? Nothing? Okay, so I know it hooks up, because I heard it running. So I bet my wires are just coming apart. So I'll work with this for a little bit. I'll take it back in the house and try to reconnect all those wiring pieces there and see if I can get this thing to work. But that's pretty awesome though. I'm really surprised that I had that harness that fit in there this entire time. So, and if I can't get this to work, then I'll just have to try to figure out what to do with that. In the meantime, this seems to be the only way for me to actually get access to taking the drive out, is carefully prying the faceplate off, because they don't give you much room when it comes to the wiring. And then probably just taking out a couple of these little screws there. And then there's some probably on the back side too, I think. So I might have to try it that way. 5 screws total. The 3 that are directly underneath or behind the slot, and then 2 that are up here on the back side. Now if I can carefully disconnect those wires, I could take this in the house and it looks like I could probably actually open that thing up. Told you this was going to be a fun-filled day. Okay, so I gave up on getting the actual drive apart because, for one, I don't really want to ruin anything. This little screw up here already kind of got ruined, so I can't really do anything about it now. So I wasn't going to tinker with this, and for 2, I'm kind of running out of time because I have to start getting ready to do the Escape here soon. I got a lot of running around to do for this. So what I was able to do is I managed to kind of take a cotton swab and some rubbing alcohol, and I was able to get into some of these cracks and crevices. I was able to get the eye, you can't really see it, but yeah, look right there. So I was able to carefully get the eye dusted off. The little spool or whatever that thing's called that the CD sits on, I kind of got the Q-tip to do that. I wish I could have gotten this top piece. Couldn't really get that. And then I found a can of compressed air, so after I did that I kind of blew all the rest of the dust out. So let's get this thing back in. I'm going to hook it back up, and I'm going to hopefully everything still works, because the wiring on these things make me nervous. They're so thin and they're so fragile, and I hopefully didn't tear any wires out of the faceplate or this. So we're going to get it hooked back up and go from there. It is turning out to be a really nice day. Got another nice day to do nothing but work on cars all day. Alright, so I left the top off for now, just to hear how this thing's going to act. So go ahead and get all these wiring harness hooked back up here. It goes like this. Okay. Got my chime back. Got sound. Oh no! Sorry guys. Okay, you got the CD. Ah, a little faster. So that'll sit there. I think we're doing okay. That may have been all it needed. I was hoping maybe it wasn't going to wear out. My mom loves Volbeat, by the way. Alright, I think that solved the issue, hopefully. Everything else seems to be working, the display is working. That's awesome. Let's try one more disc here. What else we have? East 9th. This is a good plug-in for them. Tyler's band, you guys. Tyler, you know my brother Tyler. He had the vlog channel. This is his band, East 9th. Their new album, Electricity. It is out now. So I actually haven't heard this yet, so I'm glad this is here. So let's use this as a test. Oh no! Oh no! What's this? That's That's not cool. Let's try another one. That was disappointing. These were all clean discs too. Oh. Okay, so picked up this one, alright. Interesting. I'm kind of bummed out the East 9th disc didn't work. I was looking forward to listening to that. What a shame. I wonder if it's, well, it's a burned disc, but usually there's no real issue with burned discs. But the original manufactured discs seem to be working better now, so I guess that's better. Alright. I guess I'll just put the top on and get it back together. But at least the cleaning did solve those problems, because most of the time it's obviously real CDs that are usually in here, not burned CDs. So let me get this car back together, and then I have to get ready to head out on our next journey, which would be to get everything for the Escape. And always remember to never over tighten these little bolts when you're putting them back in here, because these little screws here, they're very sensitive, and the things that they go into, it's really easy to strip these out. So that's why I kind of like using this smaller ratchet here, because it really doesn't deliver a whole lot of torque when you're trying to tighten them. So once you start feeling them get snug, like right about here, yeah, just that's about it. You don't want to do that because they'll strip out really easily. Good as new. Alright guys, so we are in motion now. The audio, or the CD player, seems to be working fine now. It hasn't skipped or anything. The CD came on right away as soon as I turned the stereo on. So I really think that the cleaning definitely helped. I mean, it's been in here for years and it's never been cleaned. So at least I was hoping maybe it wasn't going to wear out, but it's kind of cool to know that aftermarket could possibly work in here. I obviously don't have the time to mess with the wiring and stuff today, which is why I didn't, I just wanted to get this one back in here. But it's good to know that there's a backup, possibly a backup if anything happens to this one. But right now it seems to be okay, with the exception of it not playing burned CDs. So right now, we're done with this car, obviously, and we're heading to the Ford dealership. I am picking up the new outer seal for the Escape. Luckily, it's only a couple dollars. And then from there, I'm going to take this car back to my house, and then we will jump into the Escape. And we will head toward the Warren area to buy the Mercon LV transmission fluid, since it's on the way to the airport hangar where we have to tear the car apart again. So that's the plan. So recently the Malibu had to have a strut replaced. I guess the spring had broke, and we don't know how long we were driving on it like that, but it broke, so the whole strut assembly was replaced with the spring and everything, and ever since then you can tell that the alignment is slightly off. So kind of irritating. Gonna have to get that alignment done soon. Boo! $5.11. Not bad. So here we go again. One new seal, outer seal. So I got that, and we are ready to rock and roll. Check this out. That looks like mine. It's got the V6 though. Oh, and look at that. It's got the light interior, which is most common. So again, I'm glad that mine has the dark. What is this? 2012, so it's a year younger than mine. Same color and everything. Awesome. I kid you not, I did not even have to set the clock on this car. I must have plugged it in at noon, because it's like, look at how close that is. It's like half a minute off, because they, oh, see, it just changed over. So look at that. Look at that. How awesome is that? Couldn't do that again if I tried. If I really paid attention, I probably could, but that was just blind luck. All right, let's get rolling. All right. The Escape hasn't been started or driven since Tuesday, so that was almost like 3 days ago. So hopefully, because I can't really check it now because it's all cold and stuff, but hopefully there's enough fluid in there to get us to where we need to be, and to do some of the other stops along the way. Man, it's warm. Whew. All right, let's get rolling. All right, it went to reverse, so I guess we're off to a good start. Ever since we moved here, we've had a huge problem with wasps and bees, and for some reason, they really like to hang out around the back of the house, and I have no idea where they're coming from. But since today, it's sunny, and it's warm, it's 75 degrees right now, this is usually when they like to come out. And I have no idea where they're coming from. Can't even enjoy my back porch because of the infestation. Alright, so here we are again. This is all ready to come off. Just gotta get the safety wire. In the meantime, I'll undo the ABS wire, which I believe was a 10. It's a 10, right? No, not that one. This one. Gives it more slack. Okay, so our shaft and such is still in good shape. Didn't destroy it, you know, coming out. So now we just gotta find out where we went wrong with the seal. Applying the RTV sealant this time. Alright, so the car's back together. I'm back in town now. Everything seems to be okay with the exception of one thing. And I will demonstrate that here in a second. Since we are in a parking lot and there's cars nearby, and the battery on the camera's dying, but there seems to be an obnoxious grinding noise now. So it could either be because we didn't really clean off the brakes this time, and it could be brake dust on the rotors and such, or we could have broke a hub. I don't know. So I'm gonna go to the store right now and get some brake clean, which is something that I've been wanting to get for a while, so I can clean everything else off under there. But this is a really obnoxious noise. And I guess we'll go from there. Ugh. Hopefully it's just the brake disc. Found the culprit. That plate got bent back. I kind of had a feeling that was probably going to be what it was. So I just got to pry that plate back out. Oh man, what a day. So we're done. We're finally done with fixing the escape for the second time, but I really think, well, we both thought that the second time everything kind of actually went into place a little more. The issue came from the bushing on the inside for the most part. We really weren't able to get it in as far as it probably should have been, because when we went in there the first time, we didn't have any sort of tool to kind of, push it in there that's gonna give it like equal force. So we were kind of eyeballing it the whole time and just kind of trying to tap it with with an object or whatever, a tool to get it in place. And because of that bushing sticking out by seriously, like that, it's amazing how something like that would throw this whole thing off. We didn't really think it was going to matter if it was that far off, but we think because of that, the outer seal wasn't really getting pushed in as far as it should have been. So it was kind of like a domino effect the whole way out. So this last time, Brian actually kind of came up with his own little tools with various objects that were laying around the airport. He bought a couple things, and we made our own tool to actually push both the bushing and the outer seal into place, and everything after that just fit so much better. Once those were tapped in, they looked good. We added some of that RTV sealant around the outer ring just as a precaution, but aside from that, I drove it home. I kind of drove it everywhere for a while, and I checked, and every place that I've been to, there's no puddles or anything, no drips, so we're good. That thing should finally be sealed up. So that issue is finally taken care of, and I'm so happy that that's over with. So if you are going to do that yourself, highly suggest that you do use the seal pushers. That way the seals will go in evenly and smoothly, because that's what we should have done in the first place. But we couldn't rent in. We were going to rent them, but they didn't have them there, and we just tried to eyeball it. But this time Brian had some really cool ideas to make our own, and it took care of everything. So the half shaft is new, replaced. The half shaft wasn't damaged at all when we took it out, so it was still smooth. We shouldn't have any issues with this from now on. As far as the grinding noise, you guys saw that the back plate behind the brake rotor somehow got bent into the brake. I'm really glad that's all it was. I wasn't sure if maybe the hammering of the axle messed up the wheel hub or such. I thought maybe I thought it was going to be the brake dust on the rotors too, 'cause it did kind of sound like the rotor, but that was not it. It turned out to be just that backplate. So pushed it out, and we're good as new. So the Escape is done for now, and I fixed the Malibu Classic as well as far as the stereo. So this has been a very long day and a very eventful vlog. Hopefully you made it this far. So guys, thank you very much again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did like this, or you like any of these other vlogs or these Mike's Vehicle Spotlight features, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also check out Mike's Vehicle Spotlight if you haven't already. That is my official vehicle touring segment that I post right here on this very channel. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Take care.